Pulling into your garage should feel great. Mine used to feel like entering a storage unit after a tornado. But now, I've got slick tiles that stop road salt from chewing up the concrete, a tire rack that finally got my wheels off the floor, a shelf system that actually makes me look organized, funky LED lighting, and yes, a bike elevator. Okay, it's just a rope and pulley system, but let's be honest, calling it an elevator sounds way cooler. Here's how I turned my garage from chaos into a place I actually like to park in, with the help of my team, of course. Yeah, let's get to work. The road salt from Norwegian winters had eaten into the concrete for years. I feared that it would go into the rebar and eat away there too, so it was time to do something about it. One evening, after postponing this for years, I started hacking away all the loose concrete. The plan is to use some fiber-reinforced self-leveling concrete. In order for this to be successful, I needed to do proper preparation. Hack, spray, and pray. The floor wasn't level. Water would gather on the side like it was trying to build a moat around my garage. With pen and pencil, I sketched out a plan. I dreamed of water draining neatly to the middle, but reality had other ideas. I will have to get back to the solution later and show how I fixed it in a more practical, I don't really know how to angle a floor for noobs way. So here I am getting set up with around 800 kilos of leveling compound, because apparently my garage floor needed more filler than a celebrity on Instagram. But first, I had to prime the floor, and let's just say in hindsight, using a brush instead of a roller was not my brightest idea. I set up these planks at the end so that not all the concrete will run out of the garage. Now I have my plan marked out with heights, and my next step is using these markers so I have some sort of bearing on how much leveling compound I need to add to the different areas. I use some glue to stick them to the floor before I close up shop for tonight. The next day I prepare everything so this could be a one-man job. My team left me. In order to be efficient, I needed it to mix while I poured, so that when I got out of the garage, the next batch was already done. Here's how it went. Pour mix into bucket, add water, add cement, pour the bucket out on the floor while it's mixing. Pretend to have time to get this flattened out, and then exit and do it all over again. Watching leveling compound spread out is weirdly fascinating. So I'll stop talking for a minute and let you enjoy the oddly hypnotic puddle action. A pro needs to assess his work. You see how flat that is? Yeah, not very flat. Okay, watch my magic trick. I clap my hands and boom, the whole place is clean. And if you can't tell, that's because my camera lens isn't good enough to see it. So please subscribe and maybe send me some money for a new lens. Thanks. Time to check where the water flows. As you can see in that corner, the self-leveling compound wasn't that self-leveling. I guess the joke's on me. Well, I start my new plan of drawing up how the last tile is going to slant towards the middle, making the water not gathering like a moat towards the sides. I'm pretty happy with the result and start using some cement to make the angle coming into the garage. At first I thought it was a great idea. Right now, when I think about it, it might not have been necessary at all. I actually got these tiles for free. Someone had used them outdoors before. Ouch! Do you know how hot these dark tiles get in the summer sun? We're talking barefoot on a frying pan levels of burning. So now I get to clean them up before use. I now redo my mistake of using a brush instead of a roller to add the primer, because I'm a slow learner. Then I lay out the tiles to figure out where I'll need to cut, and mix up the glue, and then I start smacking tiles onto the floor, and after a while it looks like this. Not too shabby. Okay, tiling pros, this is your chance to jump into the comments and laugh about how slow I am. But you know what? I actually think this tile glue looks pretty good. Sure, I'm super slow with the glue, scraping the lines takes forever. And if you glance at the right hand side tiles, yeah, not exactly straight. And my first attempt at leveling the floor, let's just say not award winning. Still, after seeing the finished result, I'm actually pretty proud of my crooked little tiling job. And for the rest of you lot, just watch and definitely don't learn. I chose a black grout that is water and salt resistant in the hopes of water not seeping into the concrete below. My plan is to mop excess water out of the entrance after tossing the idea of some sort of drain in the middle. This way I also avoid building regulations about having an oil filter and all sorts of expensive things I probably would have to apply for to install. A big part of the grout job is cleaning the tiles afterwards. Wood time! I'm going to add some extra wood on the sides for the LED to shine towards the floor. And I am also building a tire rack, shelf system, a tabletop, and get some order into my car charging cables. And because I think I'm Batman, all the new wood I'm adding is getting painted black. Don't ask me why, it just feels right. I start by building a frame for the new system. I have the tire close by in order to get the measurements right. Since the bottom frame is quite long, I want to take some of the load off by fastening this to the roof beam. And of course, the secret to any good build, working with an ugly face. Trust me, it makes everything sturdier. What is better than one tire rack? 2 tire racks. I have added a crossbeam here, and I will add another one up by the second tire rack. It's to make sure the tires don't force the rack apart. Don't have the right sized screws? No problem. Now let's finish up the frame and find some old shelving wood we can repurpose. Taping up the leads both high and low. Finishing the counter and the shelves. I'll add some oil to this later to bring out the wood structure. And this picture has got a story. In my teens, I helped an old lady clean and move out a lot of stuff, and this was one of the treasures I secured myself. I gave it a frame this time. My electric car needs a starter battery boost at least once a month during winter. So my new charger finally got a proper home. This little plastic adapter, straight from Temu. I even made a small storage nook out of leftover 2x4s. Because nothing says pro builder like squeezing storage out of scraps. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. This tennis ball looks innocent, but I'm cutting it open because one day it might save my scalp. Think of it as Pac-Man, but with safety features. I needed even more LEDs. It's a sickness at this point. And then came my first bicycle elevator, which I definitely made more complicated than it needed to be. The result? Not great. The simple solution: one hook in the ceiling, a single pulley, rope and a carabiner. Tie the tires with a cord and boom, a $5 epic bicycle elevator. How fast is it? Let's find out.
Ready, set! Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
18 seconds to hoist and fasten. The bicycle is gone from sight. Most thieves never look up. Too much neck effort. Now look at that. It just slides off the sides, and for once the water actually listens. The funny thing about a lot of my builds is that my wife always wishes me luck when I start them. Then she spends the middle part cursing the project, and when it's finally done, she smiles and falls in love with it. And if you enjoy this little garage adventure, hit subscribe. It keeps me motivated, and maybe one day I'll even afford that new camera lens. Thank you for tuning in.